southeast neighborhoods in Chicago are cultural deserts. And I wanted to bring something that people that live in this neighborhood could come to without too much trouble. And Chicago State is here. It's known in the neighborhood. The music department is well known. And I knew there were some music students that probably would want to come.
We did a side-by-side playing opportunity. We did an open rehearsal, and we did a workshop on subbing for musical theater, how to be a great sub and how to prepare your sub for success as a chair holder.
Because Chicago is this segregated city, and it is, that young black and young brown people don't even consider that they may be able to play downtown.
When I heard about openings for musical theater, I was like, oh, let me see what this is about, see if it's something I could do.
Playing in a theatrical pit is a cross between having a 9-to-5 job and being an artist. So it's the best of both worlds, in my opinion. You can be a musician and you can have that security of having a real job.
It's just fun to answer their questions and to kind of teach them about some things that they wouldn't have thought about before. It helps them to mentally prepare to get into this business.
So listening to a broad variety of music is critical. You know, that's the only way you're going to be able to get called for a variety of shows.
And there's a lot of work out there. There's quite a few comedy theaters in Chicago. It's a lot of fun, and you should go check it out and see if it might be something that interests you, because it's all about just creating on the spot.
Touring is just a different beast. You're pretty much living with these people on the road 24/7, traveling with them, and it's really important to get along as a family, not only as a band, but as a traveling partner.
In general, in musical theater, most of the musicians double on more than one instrument. I'll often get asked, I want to sub for you. I say, do you play upright bass? And then they say, no, I only play electric bass. Well, right there, you've cut the number of shows you can do by probably more than half.
One of the ways that we promoted this event was the side-by-side nature of it. So we invited any of the attendees to bring their own instruments and then come up on stage and perform side-by-side with some of the first call theater musicians in Chicago.
Everybody was so excited to get to come together and put on an event like this. It was really a special thing, I think, for everyone.
This is the first event I've ever seen where people from the outside could come in and showcase their abilities as well.
A situation like that can plant a seed in somebody and they can go, you know what? I can do this. I can make this part of what I do as a musician.
All of the musicians who performed this evening are members of the Theater Musicians Association Chicago area chapter. The Theater Musicians Association is a player conference in the American Federation of Musicians, and so we are the only player conference that is exclusively devoted to advocating for the concerns and interests of theater musicians.
It's a very important voice for advocacy for that certain subset of all the union musicians that do play shows. Many of these players that do shows have pretty much aligned their entire lives to be able to play a show and to be able to play it extremely well.
I think everybody who's a musician who cares about theater or is curious about playing this work or has played some of this work should be involved with the Theater Musicians Association, and we'd love to add everybody's perspective to the community because it makes us stronger.
Anybody that has any kind of interest in being a professional musician, I think should come to this because it would open their eyes to something different.
Yeah, I think Heather and the team did a great job of letting everyone know what to expect when you are a chair holder, how to prepare your sub, and when you're the sub position, how to prepare to come in and do a good job there.
People that are interested in getting into something like what we do, there will always be room for people to get in. I'm going to, at some point here in the next 10 years, I'm retiring. So there will be need for people coming in on the other side. And we certainly are hoping, and we're fighting so hard to keep the theater jobs in particular, so that there will be opportunities available.
I really appreciate you all for throwing this event just for people like me who might not know much but could come out and network and maybe potentially sub at some point, maybe even become a chair.
There was a lot of musicians in the room that I may not get to meet otherwise, especially not at one time.
And I knew it was going to be good, but this was better than I thought it would be. Very enthusiastic on and off the stage.
Hopefully, we can do this again and reach out to more young people and get them to come in. So yes, we want to do more events like this.
At least annually. I mean, this
should
should
be
happen at least once a year.
But thank you to DKs. Thank you, DKs.
We had an incredible event tonight. We need to thank the Southside Jazz Coalition, Mark Smith, Chicago State University, the American Federation of Musicians, and the Theater Musicians Association, incredible members who came together to bring this important event to life.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.